Right, now what I've got here is a handy little gadget. I'll put a link down actually in the description. It's I just got it off Amazon. It was like £8 and it's just a little cigarette lighter. It's got a USB adapter on the top. It's got a little thermometer there, and it tells me two things. Importantly, it tells me the voltage. So I've got 12 volts exactly in the car at the moment. I've got lights on and things, so it's probably drained it a little. And -4 is your temperature. So there's not many cars that I've ever had actually where it tells you the internal temperature exactly. It's normally just a gauge. Right, anyway, enough said. So how to tell if your car is charging using the alternator of the car and is actually giving charge to the battery. In other words, how do you know if your battery is being recharged by your car? I'll sit this down here. You can just about see there's 12 volts there, right? And start using buttons and things on the car. You can see already we dropped down to 11.5 volts. Turn the radio down. Is what the battery has currently at the moment. So to find out if your car is charging up your car battery, obviously the first thing you need to do is start the car. So let's start it. Right, so car's started. So we've got 14 volts sitting there right now. Sorry, it's shaking, I'm so cold. 14 volts is what is telling me that the car is producing via the charging circuit, which is obviously by the alternator. Now, just to explain, an alternator is, just see it as a big motor. As the motor turns, it produces a current, produces electricity. A voltage regulator sits on the back side of that round motor, which is a consistent voltage to give the battery the right charge that it's looking for. And in this case I've got 14 volts. I would say anything from about 13.8 volts to about 14.2 is the norm. It depends on your car. So 14 volts, I've got a good charge there. It just dropped and went back up. That's because I hit the accelerator. That's the voltage regulator doing its thing, and it's maintaining that 14 volts. Right, this puts some load on the car battery now. So if I press the rear demister, that usually uses a lot of current. Let's see what that's like. Oh, there we go, 13.7. So what's happened there is the car is now using a lot of battery, using a lot of current, especially with heated circuits like that, and the voltage regulator is still maintaining a good charge at 13.7 volts to keep that battery being charged up to the correct voltage. If I come off the if I take power off the battery, as in demand, see how the volts went back up, but it hasn't gone any further. It's still maintaining that 14 volts, which is important. So to test your alternator, you can get one of these little gadgets, really helpful. If the voltage wasn't going up and wasn't staying consistent, you've either got a problem with the alternator or you've got a problem with the voltage regulator. Now you can actually change the voltage regulator, I've done it before, but usually they come part of the alternator, so you're probably best putting a new one on. Right, another way to test it, if you've got a multimeter, go back to putting it on the DC. Okay, you can connect it to the battery in the car, as in the engine, but as we're inside the car right now, let's do it this way. We're going to connect it into the cigarette lighter. Now inside here, where this connects in, the little end part there is your positive, as in your 12 volts to the positive of your car. This is the chassis, it's negative. Now if those two touch, as in inside there, you're going to blow a fuse. So if you're very careful and you've got yourself a good set of decent probes off your multimeter, you put the red one in the middle, being very careful not to touch the outside because that will short it. So right down in the middle. Okay, you can see that there's nothing on my multimeter at the moment. Now if I touch the outside, there you go, I've got 14.9 volts there. 14.2, so it's fluctuating slightly, but all I've done there is basically touch the negative and the positive in the car. Right, well I hope that helps. I'm not going to go on anymore. can you do me a favour, and if you put some comments down, I might do a few more videos. And I'm going to turn this camera around. Yeah, I really hope that helps, because when the weather's cold like it is right now, there must be a lot of people that are getting these issues. So if you wouldn't mind, if you like this sort of thing, then by all means subscribe. If you don't like it, don't subscribe, but it helps me, because I've noticed that I've been on YouTube now pretty much since the beginning, and I've never really thought much about it. And I looked at some of my old videos, and they're in the hundreds of thousands of views, where I've maybe done a quick help guide on how to reset something in a car. And I like to try and help people. I'm on forums and things, so you know, if there's something that you're stuck on, if you think I can help, I do diagnostics as well. I might run through on how to use some of the tools that I've got, which you can readily available, won't cost you the earth, and will give you that all-important fault code on the car, so that you can help diagnose it. Or even if you just want to know what it is before you go to the garage, then you know that the garage isn't trying to con you. So if you like it, hit the old like button, as they say. If you don't like it, don't hit it. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing if there's any comments I can answer. Bye for now.